Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Concord Athletics Senior Spotlight. My name is Wes McKinney, and so kind enough to join us today and stopping by is Samuel Thomas of the men's cross country and track and field teams. Samuel, so great to have you with us today, my man.
Welcome, everybody. Great to see everybody.
Yeah, so we start these off and just talking about your journey to Concord, how you got here, a little bit about your background. And you, Sam, come from Capitol High School in Charleston, West Virginia. And even before you get to Concord, there's some familiarity in the fact that your high school teammate Michael Runke was, I guess he would have been a sophomore your senior year of high school. And then Coach Cox knew a fellow by the name of Jared Smith, who coached you in high school. So obviously a lot of connections before you even get to Concord. But let's backtrack here for a moment and just talk to me about kind of your background in running and how you started.
Well, I started at a young age. I started around age 4. My father, he was also my coach at the time. He coached me and my sister, who was also a phenomenal runner at the time. He started us out just running for Capital City Striders, which is the AAU team in Charleston, West Virginia. And ever since then, I've stuck with the sport. I had some hiccups around the way because of injuries, and I hit a growth spurt in middle school. I went from around 5'7" to 6 foot, and I was just trying to get my body aligned again, trying to get ready to run, and it just took time for me.
So I mentioned Michael Runke. I mentioned Jared Smith. Was you always kind of friends with Michael and the fact that you guys would talk about Concord, or was Jared kind of pushing you here or I should say Coach Smith, was he kind of pushing you to Concord, or kind of how did all that unfold?
Well, I've noticed Concord my senior year. I noticed that they won conference for the second year in a row, and it was a huge accomplishment. And they made it to nationals Michael's sophomore year, and I was like, wow, this team seems great. But at the time, I had a letter from Davis Elkins, which is our arch rivals in the Mountain East Conference now. I went and I had a visit with them first, and I mean, it was all right up there, but it just didn't feel comfortable with me. So I came on a visit with Coach Cox, and I was like, wow, I really like it here. And I met, I believe it was either Kenna or Bailey Knowles, and they introduced me, and we talked for a few bit. And then Coach Cox showed me around campus, and I really fell in love with it. Here is a small atmosphere, and that I could actually grow and mature as an individual.
Samuel, a pretty successful high school career for you, but I always think there's, and this goes for any sport, there's always a transition from high school to college, kind of, getting a feel for things. So when you first get to Concord and you go through your first practices, or in your guys' case, your first week of cross-country camp, what was your initial impression of this whole collegiate running thing?
Well, everybody was all the upperclassmen, they were in charge and everything, and I really liked that because in high school we really didn't have that leadership because I honestly had just Coach Smith, who was my high school coach at the time, but it was just difficult because it was only Michael and some of my other teammates that were in charge, and at that time I was like, well, you know what, I'm really not feeling this. So it was just much difficult when I came here, and then I was like, well, I actually got an actual team that is a big structure and that I needed. So it took a while to get familiarized and comfortable with this collegiate running thing compared to high school.
Yeah, so let's talk about your freshman year, because you allude to it. Concord has won 2 straight conference championships in men's cross country. You as a freshman find your way onto the top 7, and the Mountain Lions win a 3rd straight title. So just kind of talk about your work, your climb to get on that top 7 and assure your spot on that on that varsity roster for the conference championship?
Well, my freshman year, it was a special year. I was like getting super excited about being on the team, but I really had to earn my spot for it. I really had to train hard. I really had to like get out of my comfort zone, in which I wasn't familiarized with when I was in high school, and it just like it was fun for me to like really be up there with Jason and Justin and Michael at the time. I really had a battle with Sam Haynes, who was also a freshman with me coming in, and it was just hard for me because sometimes I was just battling injuries, and then sometimes I was like, can I do this, or am I ready for this? And then it was just a mind game for me. To me, running was more of a mental thing than a physical thing, and I really had to get my mindset going. Like, okay, I belong here. I put in the work. I mean, I have my teammates. I have a great coach. It just clicked when I like made it onto the top 7 roster, and it was a huge accomplishment for me. And just, you know.
Yeah, so if that's a huge accomplishment for you, Samuel, you guys win that 3rd title, and man, you talk about that talented roster, 3 all-region guys, Justin Snyder, Jason Weitzel, and Tyler Cossip. Michael was right there in the mix for an all-region honor as well. But back to you, you talk about making the top 7 is a huge accomplishment. So you get all Mountain East Conference 2nd team. I got to assume that kind of outweighs making the top 7, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's one of them as well. It was just at the time, like when I was in the race, I remember Coach Cox and my dad saying, get up there, stay with those guys. And it was just difficult because we had our conference meet at Bridgeport, my bad. And it was just a hot day. I remember it like it was yesterday, and I was battling a knee injury at the time, but I just decided, it was like, it's just a mind game, get through this, and I really needed to help my team. And at the time, I still remember I was in a backpack, and I was like, you know what, I need to pick it up. And it was just hard, but Coach Coxon and my other teammates got me through that.
Yeah, so you talk about running being a mind game, and I think you're 100% right. It's just as much mental as it is physical. You're going to have good days and bad days, and you got to take the good with the bad sometimes. So in 2018, you missed cross country. So what was that comeback like to be able to contribute to a team that finishes in the top 3 there at the Mountain East Conference Championship? It would have been last fall in 2019.
It was tremendous for me because when I was out for that season, my sophomore year, it was just like I had to like grow again, as a runner, and like find out new ways to get stronger, lifting and stretching more, and just doing the basic things like running longer runs than I was capable of doing in the past. And just coming into my junior year, I was like, you know what, I'm a junior now. I have to be a leader, step it up a bit. And I just kept on going with the plan of what Coach Cox gave to me that summer. And I just worked from there. And just when my teammates came in, I was like amped up. And I was like, yes, I'm excited, to go into this season. And then at that mindset that I had in my junior year, I was like, you know what, let's make this thing happen. And I was trying my best to help my team win conference again and hopefully get to nationals.
Yeah, and I think something we need to kind of step back and talk about here is the evolution of talent in the Mountain East Conference. Concord fortunate enough to win 3 straight conference championships. They go to nationals in the 2nd year of that three-peat in 2016. But Samuel, you look at it here. Yeah, you may not have been all conference this past year, but man, just the talent, how good Charleston's gotten. Davis and Elkins coming into the league. West Liberty has stepped their game up in the last couple of years here. When you kind of step back and look at how the talent has gotten so much better, that's got to make you guys step up your game too, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. A lot. With the guys we got now, like from Christiansburg, and then some of the guys from here in West Virginia, I believe we have the talent and the gifts to compete with anybody. It's just a mind game. It really is. And if we all click together and come together as a team and just keep on training and feed it in what Coach Cox has for us, I believe we have a chance of battling and winning our conference championship back.
Yeah, now I know this has been more cross country driven, but I did want to step away from cross country and finishing up with a track question here. You guys obviously are in training from the time school starts in August and obviously well before that in the summer months. But you guys basically go all the way up till finals week in May with not a whole lot of breaks there. So what is it like trying to juggle your schoolwork along with training basically for 8 or 8.5 months out of the year with school involved, and then also you guys are on the road a lot too, so you're away from class. So what is it like to juggle some of that stuff?
It could be challenging sometimes. My biggest thing was time management, and over the years of being in college, I really struggled with that. But I finally got rid of it, and I balance my time management with schoolwork, training, and meets, and just have to make a schedule of it. And sometimes it is difficult. Sometimes being on the road, but you still got assignments to do. It can be difficult at sometimes, but what keeps me motivated is being on the team and just going to different meets and stuff, and just trying to get out and just have that college experience, but at the same time take care of business in school and also on the field as well.
Well, Samuel, we certainly appreciate the time here today, and man, you've been excellent, and we're looking to some more top performances from you and your teammates here when we do get back to competition in both cross country and track. But man, once again, we can't thank you enough for stopping by today.
Thank you, sir. God bless you.